Hello everyone and welcome back to JAS Reviews, and welcome to the newest video for list season. And this is going to be the biggest video for sure. It is going to be my top 50 best songs of 2020. Now I'm going to keep my intro pretty brief because of course we have a lot of music to get into, but let me just say 2020 has been an excellent year for music overall. There has been so many good albums this year, so many good songs, so much great material, which was a nice welcoming relief considering how overall this year has not been the greatest to say the least, and there's so many things to talk about, so many great artists to commend. So, let's go ahead and get started. Let's not waste any more time. So This is the first song from Our Mirage that has left some sort of real emotional impact on me. The excellent guitar work in combination with the electronics really worked super well, and the dual vocal talents here also really helped lift this song up a lot. It also helps that Tel Smith is featured here, Tel Smith of the Word Alive, and he provides just a great feature here that lifts this song even higher for me. I think this song tackles mental health in a very powerful way, and that really helps bring the song up in terms of its emotional impact. This is definitely a song that I hope Our Mirage replicates this style a little bit more in the future, and if this is the route they're going down, I'm excited to see what their next album will look like. Excuse Me may have not been as good of an album as Paris's previous two works. It certainly doesn't hold up to the excellence of White Noise, but Dead Weight is definitely still a really fun song that shows Paris evolving their sound in really interesting ways. Lynn is clearly having a lot of fun in the vocal department, really getting to show off her vocal chops in this one in a way that she hasn't before, which I really appreciate. I also like how Lynn talks in honest detail about this trait she has where she often gives too much of herself without receiving in measure what she feels like she deserves. She quotes this several times in the song saying like she's all give and no take, and I like how the song's thematic arc is sort of her letting this trait go and realizing that she does deserve more than what she gets. I certainly didn't expect that Machine Gun Kelly or Halsey would be making any type of list of mine anytime soon, but here they both are, and what's more, they're together on a song. And the real reason for this is that, though I do acknowledge this song is very basic pop punk, it's something that you've definitely heard before, I still think both artists make it into something a little more interesting and a lot of legitimate fun. You can tell both artists are just having a ball in terms of their vocal performance, and they both put a lot of passion into it. I especially love the moments when their vocals combine in the chorus together along with that really punchy guitar riff. This song is just an enjoyable one to listen to and one that's easy to return to, and I really hope both artists tackle this sound in the future, especially Machine Gun Kelly in improving the sound and making it more interesting, and I hope that Halsey finds a way to incorporate this style on her future albums as well. It's worse than that, 'cause you hurt me, I don't. This song has a star-studded cast in Rabel, Brian Wilson, and Sturgill Simpson, and man did the result come out excellently. Kesha is freely exploring her creativity now that she's left behind that horrible producer whose name shall not be mentioned, and the results come out excellently. Though this song doesn't hold quite the same impact for me as Praying did, I still think it does have an impact for me all the same in terms of its message. I like how the song plays very subtly, and the vocal harmonies come together all the better because of it. The restraint of this song is key, and it's exactly what makes it work. And man, Kesha and her featured vocalists are just firing on all cylinders here in terms of making this song one that is very hard to forget. I can't keep from hiding. Don't have a choice. Need to Breathe is definitely at their best when they're going back to their southern rock roots, which is what they do on this song Survival. This was a welcome breath of fresh air, especially considering the overall muted impact I felt that Hard Love, their past album, had. When they go to this type of sound, this raw southern rock, it just works so well for every member of the band, especially Bear's wonderful vocals. You can just tell that he believes what he's saying and that the band believes what they are saying, which is why I feel they are still one of the few Christian bands left who can appeal to both a Christian and a secular audience. They are impassioned about their message and they're able to deliver it in a way that feels relatable to both audiences. Also, the vocal features are great here too, with Drew and Ellie Holcomb both being welcome additions, especially Ellie, whose light vocals really work well against Bear's deeper vocal register.
Don't belong to anyone, oh no. Don't need to be loved by you.
This is yet another artist that I would have never expected to see the light of day on any type of top best list for me. But I mean, as I grow more open-minded to music, it shouldn't surprise me to see artists like this here, and why shouldn't this song be on this list? Because Miley Cyrus is more confident than ever on this song. I love her voice against this very slickly produced pop rock flair, and she is just owning the chorus here. It is relentlessly addicting, and the swagger of this jam is just completely undeniable. This is a certified banger.
But it hurts so bad the way you bend me.
Niall Horan is the other member of One Direction who I have somewhat actively followed ever since the band broke up, and while I won't say his career has been quite as interesting as Styles, he still has a lot on his mind, and I still think he is doing some interesting stuff in terms of trying to tribute to this soft rock 90s sound. And I think on this song in particular, Bend the Rules, he really does that sound well. And there's almost an understated vulnerability in this song that I really appreciated, as Niall is talking about this relationship he's having and where he feels like this girl that he's with might be cheating on him or might be being unfaithful to him. And it's a really tragic way he outlines the story, and I really feel like this song is going underrated in that regard. Invent Animate's album Greyview didn't exactly stay with me as a whole this year, but this song Monarch most certainly did. I mean, man, talk about a great blend of scream and clean vocals that was very unique and very much so an identity of this song that I absolutely loved, as well as the intriguing lyricism that makes you have multiple different interpretations of this track. I appreciate that the lyrics are written in a way that there could be multiple interpretations, making the song have a lot of layers. This is definitely one of the top metalcore songs of the year. Even though the 1975's album was an undeniable frustration, I still acknowledge the fact that this is one of the best songs on their album, and one of the best songs that they've ever made, in fact. I really like how Matty Healy navigates the uncertainty of relationships in a decidedly digital age. And in a year like this one, I think the subject matter was more relevant than ever. I'll admit, I'm also a huge sucker for saxophones being incorporated into songs, and this one has sax in abundance. That saxophone solo in the song is particularly awesome, and that in combination with the slick 80s backing beat makes this song an easy one for me to return back to many times. There isn't much to say about this song besides that it's a truly haunting ballad that brought chills up my spine. Even this late into Sevendust's career, they still haven't lost a beat in crafting great music. LaJohn Witherspoon's vocals in this song are so chilling, bringing this song to an even higher tier for me. Most of the Movement's newest album was decidedly a pretty heartbreaking listen, but Skin to Skin was definitely not that. The song was optimistic, upbeat, and catchy, and maybe that's why this one ended up being one of my favorites on the album. It just felt unique, and I liked the legitimately sweet sentiments it had about this newfound relationship that lead vocalist Patrick Miranda was expressing. The band's chemistry is really airtight here, making this one of Movement's best songs to date. Creeper, thankfully, did not lose their over-the-top sense of theatricality on their newest album, and Annabelle is more than proof of that. I absolutely love how this song is just basically a huge middle finger to religious hypocrisy, and it does so in a way that doesn't feel bitter or cold. Instead, everything about this song feels line in line with Creeper's very optimistic philosophy. The song feels positively epic and victorious, which works exactly well for what it's trying to do. This song is meant to be sung along to at the top of your lungs in a live setting, and I certainly hope people get a chance to do that in the near future. What this song does, it does very well.
No matter what the odds, isn't odd, isn't it? How this wall between us dislodge one fidget. It's not a gimmick, but a superpower. I seen whole crews.
I love this song's title, and the way that Rap and Mike Ladd both go about exploring the song's title is really interesting to listen to. Both have such great flows and stream of consciousness thoughts that work on a really deep level. I don't think there are any words that I could say, honestly, that could do this song justice. This is one that you need to go out of your way to listen to. There are a lot of layers to this song in both musicality and lyricism, and I still feel like I haven't stopped uncovering them yet.
Stop until my heartbeat does. Can't remember who I was.
Silverstein and Ketchy go hand in hand at this point. This band still knows after all this time how to make great hooky choruses, and what's more, they know how to change their sound around to where fans will still be on board, but to where they also keep their sound very interesting and varied. Stop is primary proof of this, as it does have the new pop rock sound that their new album A Beautiful Place to Drown boasts, but it also has some of their older sound incorporated in it, making this song a really good synthesis of both sides of the band. I only heard this song a couple weeks ago, along with the album I Let It In and Took Everything. The fact that it charted this high on my list already really says something about the type of impact that this song left on me. To say my jaw dropped on the floor when I heard this cut would be a major understatement. I'm not normally a big fan of death metal or of black metal, but something about the way this song did it just works for me. Maybe it's even because of the way the song suddenly changed into an acoustic instrumental near its end, something that totally caught me off guard and left the song feeling even more unsettling in a way, because after all this destruction, there's this deceptive calm at the end that really sends chills up the spine. Somehow the contradictions of this song work really well, and this song proves that Loathe is certainly a band to keep your eyes on. Lost Society, honestly, and somewhat cynically, discuss the downfall of the state of our world, asking if we are becoming artificial beings, or maybe even something less than that. It's a tough thing to admit, but this song serves as a warning from the band, rather than just saying we are this. They're warning us we could become this. The urgency of the song is helped more by the modern metalcore flares combined with classic 80s metal vibes. I really liked how this song combined both of those aspects, making this a track that can work for a variety of audiences.
I want new friends, but that I want me and make it.
The synth line that begins this song by The Strokes made me know this was an immediate shoo-in for my best songs of the year list, and here it is. The synth melody is relentlessly addicting, making this song an easy one to return to. The powerful lyrics only serve to make it even better, as Julian Casablancas discusses in tragic detail his previous issues with alcohol abuse. He also talks about the sort of contradicting ideals of maturing, and that even though he does know more as he gets older, there's also more that he doesn't know because new things are always constantly happening, which is a really interesting thing to contemplate on. The song is an interesting, introspective look into Julian's mind, and that's exactly what makes the song work for me. This is yet another song that I heard recently, but as soon as I finished listening to it, I knew it was going to have a spot on my list. Rina Sawayama's genre-combining style is one that I very much so enjoyed on her new album. It's clear that she can navigate a variety of styles very well. This song shows how she pretty much nails an arena rock style, and it brings to mind classic rock in a very good way. This song might be a little repetitive, but it's one where the talent is undeniable.
Safe, better keep that thought to yourself when you find that place.
All Time Low was so back on form with Wake Up Sunshine. There were so many tracks on this album that I kept returning back to, but Safe was ultimately the one that stood out to me the most. The subtle incorporation of 80s pop elements, along with All Time Low's instantly recognizable punk pop style, made this a song that instantly worked for me. I like how the song is just meant to be fun, and I really like the message's song about just taking some time to yourself and enjoying the life that you have while you have it. Alex Gaskar's sounds incredible in the chorus, and the excellent production values of this song really brought it over the top for me. This song was basically my anthem for the summer, and if you've heard this song, you know exactly the reason why. I love finding songs that have political satire in them and do that satire well. A majority of Idol's album Ultramono does have that satire in abundance, that political satire, making it an album that was just right for me. Model Village was perhaps the best satire of the whole album, as the band snidely calls out upper-class elitism. They critique the idea of a model village, as to the elites this looks like doing things that only benefit them and serve to bring the lower class or anyone who doesn't fit their ideals down. Very relevant material, along with an unabashed punk rock pride, makes this song an absolute gem. Normally, just straight up pop punk songs don't really work for me that well, but man, this song hit me like a freight train with how relentlessly great it was. The guitar work hits hard, and the chorus is just unbelievable in how it hooks you in right away. On initial look, this song seems to be about a toxic relationship, and it sort of is, but not in the way you think. Bonnie Fraser is instead talking about her toxic relationship with herself, and she discusses this self-hatred in a way that might come across as darkly comedic at times, but actually shows some vulnerability when there's just an acoustic guitar and her cracked vocals near the end of the song, making the song work on a deeper level near the end. You realize how dark this song is with that ending, but there is also a very redemptive message about how we need to let self-hatred go. I feel like this song has so much more on its mind than your typical punk rock song or typical pop punk song, and that's probably why I loved it so much.
I can see it if I keep my head.
This song's emotional arc really got to me the more I thought about it. Colony House are a relatively new band, and already they are leagues and leagues ahead of other Christian acts like them. This is because the band clearly knows how to write meaningful lyrics that don't just say the same sentiments about God over and over. This song acknowledges something that I don't see many Christian artists discussing: depression. It took me a while to see that that was what this song was about, but it becomes clearer and clearer in the nuanced and beautifully written lyrics. That makes the redemption of the song feel all the more earned, where the singer speaks in the perspective of God and says that we don't have to feel alone in our fights with depression. The musical heights this song goes to in its last minute are awesome and sort of breathtaking. This song was definitely a slow burn grower for me, but it's undeniably great. Check out this band and check out this song if you haven't.
You're gonna get your time. Oh, you're gonna get your...
This incendiary track against mass shootings is a haunting and powerful listen. Chris Stapleton has a fiery fury here that is undeniably justified. This anthem feels cathartic and angry in all the right ways, as Chris warns those who would take another life. You're gonna get your turn. Nothing about this song feels hyperbolic or tasteless, as this song serves as a sort of tribute to those who tragically passed away in the Las Vegas shootings. You can feel Stapleton's sadness and his unbridled anger, and because of that, you reciprocate those feelings. The feelings are heightened in a victorious ending where Chris's vocals are combined with a gospel choir, making the song's weight and massiveness feel appropriately earned. This song is huge. The song feels big and important, and it should because of its subject matter, making it work all the more powerfully.
See what you see. Get back to what you used to like about me. Back to what you used to.
Pure pop bliss. Neon Trees come back with a bang on this song, and it's so easy to have fun with this track. The slick production and excellent lead vocals that get your head moving make this an expertly crafted pop song in every sense. I might even go so far as to say that this is the catchiest song of the year. That chorus, it's just undeniable.
Where do we go when we don't love each other? Where is the hope and the empathy?
This is yet another song where I feel like my words just wouldn't do it justice. I mentioned in my best hit songs video that there would be a song about the Black Lives Matter movement that would be charting on my best songs list, and this is that song. I'll just say this, the subject matter here is powerful and gripping, and it shouldn't be ignored. Please, hear out what this song has to say. It's time we listen to important voices like her. So, I'll just say no more about this song and let it speak for itself.
I know you're not alone, like you used to be, 'cause I'm not the one.
This track is absolutely mind-blowing to me. The vocals here by Joji, the ethereal chorus, and that ending guitar solo, oh, man, pretty much everything about this song is pitch perfect. This cut only becomes better and better every time I listen to it, and goes to show that Joji has so much wonderful potential as an artist that we have yet to discover. This song has gotten a lot of praise this year, and it deserves every single bit that it's gotten.
Doorstep being so shady, don't trip. We don't gotta let them in, don't trip.
Man, there are so many artists that passed away far too soon in recent years, and Mac Miller was one of them. I'll admit, I never got into his music, but after hearing his posthumous album this year, I definitely need to get into his backing discography. Blue World was a song that hooked me in pretty much right away with the sort of barbershop quartet style vocals that begin the song. Then we get into what is one of the tightest and cleanest sounding beats of the year, with a vibe that is simply irresistible. Mac Miller rides on top of this beat so well. His voice has such a unique quality to it that I'm not even quite sure I can put my finger on how unique it is. But I know if I were to hear his voice in any other context, I would be able to instantly recognize it. The hopefulness that Mac is finding in this song, despite his depression, is really quite inspiring, but can also be heartbreaking and bittersweet because we know that he passed away. I'm hoping that this final album of his can leave listeners with some hope that Mac was at least able to find some sense of happiness, because a song like this is an indicator to me that Mac was able to. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. You were gone too soon.
I had a dream they were coming. There was a gun in my...
The storytelling in this song is amazing. The Classic Crime is a band that never fails to be consistently great lyricists, and Before I Wake Up ranks among their best written songs to date. The story of spiritual warfare here is undeniably haunting to listen to, as Mac McDonald really lets his vocals go to new heights. I also love the way the guitars and drum work ramp up the intensity every time in the chorus. This band knows how to compel their listeners, and I love them for it.
I know you found this, but I know we'll make it out somehow. It's like a war by my...
This was actually, according to Spotify, my most played song in 2020. It didn't surprise me when I saw that, as for the first half of this year, I was definitely addicted to that track. I still love it now as Tel Smith contemplates the idea of being relentlessly obsessed with self-improvement, and how that can ultimately take a toll on one's mental health. And I appreciate that the message of this song is that this mindset is one that can ultimately be very toxic and very harmful. Musically, this is the most confident the word alive has sounded since Dark Matter, in my opinion. The way they use electronics here is so masterful to me. Tel Smith has a wonderful vocal performance here, letting his vocals shine so strongly.
I'm getting bored of waking up alone.
Political outrage screams its way out of this song, and the results are incredible. Boston Manor have never sounded so angry, which makes this song stand out especially strong. Henry Cox's streams here are brutal, as he uses an abusive relationship as almost a symbol for the way the elites treat the lower class. His anger becomes stronger and stronger against pummeling guitar riffs as he screams out, "This ain't love, this is a class war." The intensity of this song is just gripping to me, and shows Boston Manor at their absolute height.
I turn my back on, and what it ever made.
Fit for a King continue to evolve themselves as a band while still staying true to their central sound. Louder Voice is a clear proof of this. This song has some truly powerful clean vocals in it from Tuck O'Leary, as the song navigates the nuances of what side of ourselves we let be the louder voice, fear or love. I appreciate how the band acknowledges the dark aspects of their faith journey, that they have turned their back on love many times before, but they're all learning to let love in again. It's a beautifully executed message that I think almost anyone would be able to relate to, and it only works better in that haunting bridge where Ryan Kirby begs someone, anyone, to pull him from the dark. And then there's the song's redemptive ending, which gives this song a truly emotional arc that it undeniably earns.
Can't take much more of your hesitating, both I and speak for us and come.
Carly Rae Jepsen is truly our generation's most underrated pop artist. Yeah, I said it and I'm not taking it back. This artist deserves so much more recognition than she gets. Stay Away is better than a lot of pop songs that charted on the Billboard, in my opinion, and it's a crime that it didn't have more success than it did. Carly talks about relationship uncertainties in a way that is really endearing to me. The way the electronics flow throughout this song is just awesome. Code Orange have crafted a sound in this year that I feel is really interesting and innovative for the metalcore scene. The way they use these glitchy electronic effects is done in a way that I haven't really heard before in the metalcore genre. These loud, unsettling effects paired with huge guitar riffs, vocal samples, powerful drumming, and wonderful screamed and unclean vocals make this a sound that belongs solely to this band. This song is, in my opinion, the best synthesis of that sound, as the band lets it be exactly what it needs to be. But when they ramp up the subtlety of this song and they make it distorted and otherworldly, that makes the song work super well, and it's particularly appropriate for a song whose subject matter is about losing a sense of yourself in this dark world. The desperation of the song keeps on ramping up and becomes more and more incredible to hear.
The man's here. There's no fear. Came through with no tears. I don't cry. Matter of fact, I don't lie like a bedside.
Denzel Curry just absolutely goes off in this song. As always, Curry proves himself to be one of the best rappers of his era. He's one of my favorite rappers at this point, as his flows and punchlines are unmatched by most people. Kenny Beats' immaculate production on this cut only serves to make it pop off even more. Curry is spitting out straight venom here, as he goes from one flow to the next and one thought to the next in a very natural way. Just a fun song that I can't get enough of.
Into the final battle, there's a fire in my blood. Let's fight!
Viking metal is not a genre I expected to enjoy this much, but hey, here we are, and I don't mind. Brothers of Metal make this genre work so well. This song is so obviously over the top and so obviously ridiculous, but the sheer talent of the band still shines through in every moment. You can't help but sing along as if you're in an epic war. The song makes you feel powerful, which is something that I legitimately love. I also really can't get enough of how the beautiful strings in the beginning of this song transition effortlessly into one of the best guitar melodies I've heard in all of 2020. This song knows what it is, and it has fun with it. I look forward to hearing a lot more of this clearly talented group. Bring on more Viking metal.
I got some pills, but not some help from love junkies in the private.
I did say in my review of Moral Panic that Can You Afford to Be an Individual was my favorite song from the album, but Phobia kept creeping up on me. The pure menace of this song is unlike anything that Nothing But Thieves have ever done before. They speak in the perspective of an individual who is just clearly not a good person. It's unsettling how well Connor Mason embodies this person with his breathy vocals. The song makes you feel uncomfortable and intrigued at the same time. What brings the song to the finish line is how it constantly changes pace, becoming more intense over time. The ending moments of the song are just so much fun and easy to headbang along to, and it just becomes more and more ballistic. It's just such an enjoyable progression. Nothing But Thieves continue to innovate in the genre of rock, and I absolutely love them for it.
Sorry for what I've become, because I'm becoming someone. Your hand on my neck, you call up the press.
This song has stayed with me ever since I first heard it in January. Poppy has made huge waves with her album I Disagree, and this song still stands the tallest of the bunch for me. Sure, it's not as grandiose as Concrete, or as In Your Face as Blood Money, but it takes its time to reveal its layers, starting off with Poppy having some delicate vocals that I've never heard from her before. I feel like Mariah, which is her real name, comes out here. This is the first time we ever see vulnerabilities of Poppy's show, and perhaps even her letting go of the Poppy personality in a way. And even when she does go into the Poppy personality, she warns everyone that they shouldn't be anything like her, warning people to not romanticize the detached, robotic aspects of Poppy, maybe even as an extension, warning people to not give in to the darkest parts of themselves. I really love the thunderous electronics and guitar riffs that go throughout the song, making it a track that is impossible to forget.
I think I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the end.
I'm somewhat embarrassed at my former self for judging Taylor Swift so harshly and not ever giving her a chance to impress me. I still have my problems with her, I won't deny it, but I am so glad that I'm not who I used to be, because if I was still that person who disliked her so much, I would have never gotten to appreciate this excellent song. I mean, come on, this song is a masterpiece. The way this song tells such a multi-layered, tragic story about an ill-fated relationship never fails to awe me. Taylor Swift and Justin Vernon's vocals are a match made for one another, and it's endlessly intriguing to hear this relationship from both of their points of view. And then there's a bridge. Wow, talk about legitimate chills. I never thought I'd be able to connect to a Swift song like this one connected with me, but it happened. So, this song is here, and it more than deserves to be.
Decided to be stored. They promise education, but really just give you test scores. They predicted prison population by who's scoring the low.
Run the Jewels are a group that always seems to come out with new material at just the right time. 2020 was a year that needed them more than ever. Walking in the Snow is a perfect encapsulation of just how important this group is. What's most haunting about this song is that the lyrics here were created before any of the most evil events happened in 2020, like George Floyd's murder. That makes the message of the song resonate all the more. Systemic racism and oppression have always existed for people of color, and the lyrics "I Can't Breathe" apply to more than one person. You can feel Killer Mike's raw, uncompromised anger in the verses, and it's completely justified. There's so many wonderful lines in his lyrics, with the lines, "All of us serve the same masters, all of us nothing but slaves. Never forget the story of Jesus, the hero killed by the state," really resonating with me. Just a wonderful cut. The lines in here shouldn't be relevant, but they are. So thankful for bands like Run the Jewels exploring these things in only a way that they can do. Trivium is still, by far, one of the most talented groups of their kind. They have been around for quite a while now, and they're a group that just knows how to be interesting and innovative. Catastrophist is probably one of my favorite songs by them at this point. Just the musical progressions this song makes are incredibly interesting. The line, "You're a catastrophe," never fails to get me hyped up, and Matt Heffy's vocals are absolutely massive here. Of course, the drumming by Alex Brent continues to be a huge highlight of this new era of Trivium. He really makes the intensity of the song pop all the more. This song stays interesting in its 6-minute runtime, never once becoming dull or uneventful. Even if you aren't a metal fan, you need to check this one out. A lot of metalcore feels so samey right now, but thankfully there are bands who try to bring changes into the genre. I feel like Currents is one of those bands. Split brings an intensity to metalcore that I haven't heard a whole lot this year, with punchy guitar work and incredible clean-unclean vocal trade-offs. The song doesn't overstay its welcome and delivers an important message about mental health in the process. I love how the song debunks this idea that anyone can get better from a pervasive mental health issue. I appreciate that even in the midst of the cynicism in the song, the band still firmly believes in fighting and staying for those they care about. It's a truly powerful and deeply personal message that still really resonates with me.
We left behind the friends we made along the way.
Progressive metal is not a genre I've been very familiar with, but Haken is certainly a group who has made me want to do more research into the genre, that's for sure. Wow, is this song such an amazing journey. This band uses a virus as symbolism for all of us losing our sense of selves and our ability to connect with others. The lyrics paint this in a pretty dark, haunting way with lyrics like, "When did we give up the ghost as a trade for the heart that begins to break?" It's clear that the band cares about personal and interpersonal connectivity, making this song serve as a sort of cautionary tale. Every member of the band brings such clear talent in their fields. Not one person bores here in what they bring to the table. This is a track that impresses in every way possible. Man, Bring Me the Horizon came back in a big way with their newest EP. There were so many wonderful songs on the album that synthesized all their sounds together in a way that was awesome to listen to. But Kingslayer ended up being the one that stood out the most to me. This track is absolutely insane in the best way possible. The intro combines synths and guitars in a way that feels very industrial and noisy. It's awesome. Ollie Sykes really just goes off vocally, having a lot of clear fun. And Baby Metal also shine incredibly bright here with her vocals just really delivering the chorus in such a fun way. Her vocals bring personality to the song that I've never heard in any other Bring Me the Horizon song before. This track is just a delight to listen to, especially as Ollie blasts people who say he can't scream anymore, and musically, he more than proves them wrong. More of this, please.
Ended up with a pair of cracked lips, windows down, scream along.
This song's impact on me just can't be stated enough. Even after hearing the song so many times, what it does still awes me. This song accomplishes the near impossible. In my opinion, I think almost any type of music fan can enjoy this track. It has a little something for everyone. Add on top of that an appropriately apocalyptic atmosphere and Phoebe Bridgers' incredible varied vocal performance, and you have an alternative masterpiece. I love how Bridgers is able to find a combination of hope, nihilism, and even humor in the midst of the ending of the world. Lyrics like, "Either way, we're not alone. I'll find a new place to be from. A haunted house with a picket fence to float around and ghost my friends," perfectly encapsulate this song's variety of emotions. This is a masterwork of a track, with an ending that still leaves me amazed every single time. Polaris go above and beyond on what is, in my opinion, the best song from The Death of Me. The guitar work in this song is a step above so many other metalcore songs I've heard this year, and it even brings to mind Era for me, which is a huge compliment considering I'm such a big fan of that band. I love how Polaris finds hope in the midst of the unknown on this song, and even serves to bring that hope home to their listeners. The trading off of clean and unclean vocals is pretty much perfect here, and the chorus always takes me to new heights. Like I said in my best hit songs video, this song was going to rank high. And yep, it's in my top 5, and deservedly so. This is a masterwork of a pop song. It takes a song like Take On Me ingeniously, using it as a blueprint, and still making a song that is clearly its own entity entirely. Abel's vocals on this song are just an absolute joy to listen to throughout, as he embodies a confident menace that works for this song's subject matter entirely. I still love the way that this song can be doubly interpreted, as Abel being blinded by a relationship to a girl or his own relationship to fame. The beginning moments of this song still end up being some of my favorite musical moments of 2020. Every time that synth line appears, I just feel alive. What a wonderful feeling.
War season, it's the season of the war. She's trying to cut the cord. She's tired of playing.
This cut is another one where I don't want to say too much about it, because honestly, the song speaks for itself. Fiona Apple paints a haunting picture of sexual assault that is heartbreaking, uncomfortable, and empowering at the same time. The lyrics are very much so in your face, and they need to be. The bridge of this song is so devastating and left me with such raw emotion the first time I heard it. This song is not an easy listen, but it's pure mastery, and that cannot be stated enough. The beat change that this song has, it just blows my mind every time. This is pure music and lyrical excellence in every sense of those words.
All night, I ride with you. I know you got my back, and you know I got you. So come on.
The kinetic energy this song has, man, it's just awesome. Dua Lipa interpolates the song Physical by Olivia Newton-John and makes a track that is better, in my opinion. The slick synth-pop production here is a perfect encapsulation of what made Dua Lipa's future nostalgia work. It's a throwback to the 80s, but also feels distinctly modern. The song is timeless to me, and because of that, I envision this song will be relevant for years. You can feel the tension of this love that Dua Lipa is feeling. You can feel that it's something special to her, especially in the chorus where this song just reaches new heights. You can't help but sing along at the top of your lungs, "Let's Get Physical." It's just so much fun. This is surely going to be one of my favorite pop songs of all time. I mean, wow.
I tried going against my own soul's warning.
I honestly debated putting this song at number 1. The pure unfettered emotion this song makes me feel can't be described. I absolutely love every choice that this song makes. Brandon Flowers' delicate vocals against the quiet electronics introduces this song perfectly, before the song absolutely unleashes in a way that feels almost spiritual. That is appropriate, given the song's title. And then there are the lyrics, which bring in religion in a way that just feels right. You can tell that Brandon's love for God in the lyrics is real, as he feels a shaking in his soul that something doesn't feel right when he tries to do things on his own. Brandon's personal discussion on faith is deeply personal and powerful, making the song work so much better than a lot of CCM cuts that try to do exactly the same thing. The Killers know what makes a good song about spirituality. There has to be a feeling of deep personal connection, but there also has to be a sense of otherworldliness. The Killers navigate that gap and that space perfectly, and the way they do it so effortlessly still remains to be jaw-dropping to me. Of course, at the end of the day, I did know what song was going to be my favorite song of the year. When I say that I needed a song like this in this year, know that I mean that. Red knows, more than a lot of bands out there, how to tap into the darkest parts of the soul and still find hope there. This song is one of the band's darkest, but also one of their most redemptive. The fact that Red can combine such contrasting aspects of the human condition is what makes them one of my favorite bands of all time. In this song, they discuss a deep brokenness that they couldn't possibly fix, but then we get to the chorus, where Michael is practically begging for God to fix the wounds that seem like they'll never heal. Michael's vocal performance throughout the song is incredible, and often heartbreaking. This is especially so in the bridge, where he contemplates if he's the only one going through such deep struggles. But then there's a payoff, where he reassures everyone, we are not the only ones, and the strings swell in a way that still makes me emotional. Red still makes their symphonic rock sound as effortless as ever, doing it in a way that not many bands can even begin to compete with. What an incredible band. What an incredible song. So yeah, those were my top 50 best songs of the year. What does your list look like? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, that is almost the end of list season for music. I've got one more list coming, and it will be the top 10 best albums of 2020, so be on the lookout for that. But until then, I will see you all in the next video.